Hey, Mike the Disgruntled Mechanic here. Today's project is a 2002 2500 HD Chevy pickup truck. And what we're doing today is we are replacing the dust shields, emergency brake, parking brake, backing pad on the rear of this truck. That entails pulling the hub, pulling the axle, pulling the emergency brake shoes, pulling the part off that holds the backing plate, knocking out the bolts, and replacing it. So you're right down to the axle tube basically when you do this. But I'll show you here. First off, let me show you the new shields, and I'll be right back. So the new shields that I got are made by our favorite aftermarket maker, Dorman. So anyhow, this is what I got, part number. Let me take it out here. We'll be doing the passenger side or the right side. Oops. Here's the little goodies, the boot that goes over your emergency brake lever, and the hole plug for the parking brake adjuster, and this is what this looks like. Remember this because I am going to go down there and next and show you what my old one looks like and why we're replacing them, and then we'll talk about that while we're down there. So as I said, this is what my backing plate now looks like. Well, you know, non-existent. The nails or pins that come through the back that actually hold your emergency brake shoes on, they didn't even want to hold anymore. And the other thing is, I continually get a squeaking sound, and I'm not sure if it's because this stuff's bent against the rotor and touching or whatever. But it's time to replace it. So, and just so you know, that's what the new one looks like. So, new, old. So we hope Dorman does us justice. But we'll get that out of the way. And just to give you a quick rundown of what we're going to do. We're going to pull the axle out first. Then we have to pull the hub off. Since we're pulling the hub off, not too long ago I put new seals in this and did all that. But you'll have to replace the seals in the hub, of course, because you disturbed it. I don't know if I'll probably show roughly what I do in here to take this off, but that's not what this video is really about. Maybe in another one. But we got to get back to this and the 4 bolts that do that. So let me get this axle out, get the hub off, take the emergency brake shoes off, and then work on getting this backing plate off, which we have to take the holder off here, which I will show you when I get to that. First things first, we'll get a pan here. We'll pull the axle. Handy because you may get some schmutz out of this. Try not to bang this around too much, but we'll put this on here to try and get some of the grease off as we pull the axle out. Make sure you have enough room to pull it because she is long. I'm against the wall here, but I measured first. So there it is. We'll take this. We'll stand this up so it doesn't fall, or better yet, lay it down. Alright. I'm going to go and set this up. I'm going to go get something to lay this down. Be back. So the next thing you want to do is there's a little clip in here. You want to fish that out. I just used a little pick here. And then behind that is a small keeper, and let's see if we can get him out of there. Oh sure, usually it pulls pretty easy with a, oh there it is. That's all that is, and it comes out with the magnet. Don't lose these. That would not be good. So now it's just a matter of taking this ring off. Let's see how tight it is. Usually it's not that tight because it's not supposed to be. There we go. So we'll take that off. We'll lay that aside. There it is. Now the next thing, your hub's ready to come off. So let's see if it'll, the other one didn't. So let's see how well it pulls off. Alright. You may need a little help. You can go back in behind here with the pry bar and sort of try and help and get it off. Turn it as you come off. I don't want it to pop all at once. She doesn't want to play. Whoop, now she did. Okay, that's all right. It came out. Your bearing, which I'm going to replace them. And there's your seal. So now you got to get that seal popped out of there. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to take these emergency brakes off, parking brakes, whatever you want to call them. Just compress this, grab hold of your little nail or pin, whatever you want to call it. I've seen it called both. There's one. We'll lay him to the side. We got new hardware for this. Yeah, so you can't help but damage that seal. You just have to replace it. That's all there is to it. Do the other side. Doing, bing, bang, bong. Bing, bang, bong, bong. So then we'll just take it, ouch, take this bottom one and try and stretch it. Probably rusted on there for one thing. I'm replacing the parking brake cable too because it has problems. We could take this apart too, but it should pull off like this. Every tool has a hammer size, a hammer side, as Erico says. Worst comes to worst, we'll take that spring off down, the one down here. I think you can see it, but you shouldn't have to. Plus, my hands just don't have the strength that they used to. There you go. Once you get one off, Yeah, maybe it's rusted on there. Alrighty. There it is. Nothing to it. We had a freaking adjuster. I don't know if you can see that. The adjuster seized up. It needed help. So, now what we'll do is we will pry this seal the rest of the way off carefully. You don't want to scratch or damage anything any more than what's necessary. You don't want to do it at all, really. Okay, and there it is. It's a two-piece seal. I saw a video where somebody left half of it on. Make sure you get it all off. Now we'll clean all this up before you go to put it in. Right, wrong, or indifferent, what I did was I buffed this off here in the back when I went to put it on because it's all dirty and rust, so I figured it'd be just as good as anything. So now, anyhow, here's the prize. These guys. To be able to take this off. So what we have to do is we have to get the nuts off in the back, and sometimes they're very tight, and this whole assembly will now come off. So I'll get you set up with the camera, and then we'll work on getting our nuts off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bolt out to move this, and then I think you can see there's a nut here and a nut here. And as you see, they don't give you a whole lot of space to work on this side. So you certainly do need the proper tools, you know, to try and get in there. Certainly makes it easier. Alright, that'll take the bracket off that holds your brake line. We'll take that. Gingerly move that out of the way because that brake line's about ready to snap from the rust. So we'll put the bolt back in where she came from. Where's she came from. That's going to be leaking after this. I know it. I absolutely know it. But, oh well, we'll fix it if it does. So, alright, let me get a wire tie and tie this down and or up out of the way, and then we'll get back to this. Alright, that should do. So let's see how tight these babies are. And if I didn't mention it, I'm just going to show you guys the one side because it's basically the same on the other side. You just got 4 of them. So let's see what happens here. Oh, she started. She wants to. I can probably get the ratchet on now. Maybe not. Alright, let's just get them loose, and then I'm going to go to a different tool. Like I said, boy, they don't give you a whole lot of room to work here. I'll sort of get these all the way loose. Oh, that one was nice and loose. Now we'll go to another tool, which is a new tool I just got. And if you have these Astro Sockets, this tool is pretty dang handy. And basically what it is, I don't know if I'm getting it in the picture or not, you can put the Astro socket in one of these bendable wrenches here, and if not, I'll show it in another video that you can see it. But depending on what the job is, The thing is very handy. So folks, all I'm going to do is do this on this side, loosen these up, and then the part will come off that I want, and I'll show you that coming off. So let me get all these loose and out, and then I'll show you what we have next. I think I got all the nuts in the back just hand tight. Well, that I can take them off without using a tool. We'll get them off and see how this critter pops off. That bottom one might need the tool yet. Tool, where's the tool? Always got to be one. Uh-oh. We're stuck. There we go. Glad I didn't go any more. That never would have came off. Alright. So we're getting the last one off. Now, this should actually pop off. This should actually pop off. Okay. Little persuasion needed. Rusty crusty. Okay. There it is. Oops. Damn, I forgot I still had the emergency brake hooked up. Well, we'll get that uncruded. We just have to take the emergency brake off back here. I'm not sure if you can see it, but we'll need to clean this up. I'll show you what I'm going to do. But there it is, and there's your, your little arm for your emergency brake, and those, as you can see, that's not even working. So we're going to have to get this loosened and working, this little arm here. So that'll be another part. We'll show that, what we're going to do. But I'm just going to get the cable unhooked and get this over to the workbench where we can get a better look at it. So we got it up here on the workbench. First thing we're going to do is take this guy out of here. We got a new one of these boots, thank goodness. It don't want to come out. All right, it's out. So now, as you can see, it doesn't want to move, which isn't a good thing. So we'll take this out of here for now. Set that aside. I'm going to put this guy in the vise. I'm going to put a little PB blast on it. Try and get it loosened up. Because I bought these for a Ford before from Napper, and they weren't right and didn't work right. So let's go a little hammer, see if we can do a little hammer time on it. Alright, we got her working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the wire brush on the drill and try and clean that up some. Both sides. Yeah, it's not too bad. I think I'm still going to hit it with brake clean just to try and blow some air in there just to get all the gunk out of it. And of course this can's about empty, but we'll use up what's in there. Moving pretty good now. I'm actually pretty happy with that. We'll put some fluid film on and let it work its way through before we assemble it. There you go. And we'll put a little more on maybe. We'll let this set, like I said, it'll be a little while till we have to get all this back together. So let's go back to what we were working on. So basically, we got to get these bolts out to get the shield off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a nut down and put it flush. Then I'm going to go get the hammer that I like to do this with. And we're going to drive that out of there. Now, since we got that done, we will set it up in here, especially so that I can show you. Got to drive there's a lip on this plate, so we're going to drive that out to get this backing plate out. Like so. So now all I'm going to do is take my tools and I'm going to clean all this up. Get the little Dremel out, clean up in here. So, alrighty. Then, this guy goes like this. Gotta lay it down here. Doesn't seem to fit too bad for being dormant. And then, basically what I'm gonna do is just get all these in. Or bolts in, drive them in a bit, and I figure they will go in okay the rest of the way if they're not in all the way when we tighten the nuts up on the truck. So there we have it. It's back on. Now we'll go back over and put the nuts back on and tighten it up. Oh, the one thing I forgot to say is I'm going to take my tool over there because the back where this rests, I'm going to clean that up too because there's rust over there. So I'm going to clean all this up back here before I put everything back on. I'm going to clean this up a little bit too for when I put my hub back on, because then I'm going to blow it down with some brake clean before I do anything else. So all we're going to do now is put this back on and put the nuts back on. We'll actually put the little lever for the parking brakes in next with the little boot that goes in there, tighten that up. And basically everything, the installation is the reverse of the uninstallation. So there you have it. Hey, this is Mike the Disgruntled Mechanic saying, just remember, if you can get somebody else to do it, you're probably better off. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. There may be another video of me putting this all back together with the hub and everything, but that'll remain to be seen. Thanks. Bye.
Oh, you dirty, rotten bolt! How could you break off? You dirty, rotten mother! Oh, dirty, rotten! How dare you break? Oh, I can't believe it broke off! Not again! Oh, man alive! Son of a... Oh, I can't believe it broke off! Jesus! No wonder I'm the disgruntled mechanic!